The UFC 298 pre-fight press conference just recently wrapped up, and I'm going to give you guys my reaction to the entire thing. We'll discuss key moments and my thoughts on everything that was said between the fighters that are scheduled to throw down this Saturday. Make sure you guys smash that like button, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. It was a pretty eventful press conference, so definitely a good amount of stuff to discuss. It starts off with John Morgan asking old man Volk, because Volkanovski was dressed as an old man. He posted a video on Instagram and Twitter recently of him, as an old fighter playing into that old man heel, because Topuria said that he's sending him to retirement. Volk says he's just having fun with it and doing it for the people. It's not that he actually feels old, but he's having a good time playing into the heel factor. Now, Ilya hasn't really shown Volk respect and says don't ask about any of the past opponents that Volkanovski has faced off against. It doesn't seem like he has any respect for the resume, and he also seems to think that Volkanovski is past his prime. He tells the crowd to pipe down a lot more intensely than that. He tells them to shut the fuck up, and his crowd winning over skills are definitely not there. I mean, maybe in Spain when he's speaking his native tongue, he'll have crowds going wild, but he is hated in Anaheim. Ilya says you're dressed up like that in the old man costume because retirement is incoming. Volkanovski says that Topuria needs a spanking. That was pretty funny. And he's also planning on humbling Volkanovski. But Topuria then gets up and they start kind of talking some trash standing. Topuria is telling him to sit down, and he wants to slap Ilya Topuria. Volkanovski said he owes him a little bit of a beatdown to humble this up-and-coming prospect who's talking some heavy shit. Volkanovski said, though, when fight day comes, he's going to be looking lean and mean. It's not going to be old man Volk inside of the cage. Topuria is predicting that he's walking the floor with Volkanovski. He's saying he's going to make it look easy getting that belt. Volk plays into the heel more and saying that he doesn't see too well, but he'll be all right. He's just having fun. He's not getting bothered by Ilya Topuria's consistent trash talk. What's interesting is Topuria in this moment declares that he, in the name of God, is destined to become the winner of the featherweight belt, and honestly, more annoying than I've ever imagined. Ilya Topuria, at that moment that they were exchanging like this, I was just like, please shut up, bro. It's just irritating. He's a super irritable guy. Yes, he's extremely cocky, and we knew he had high confidence, and he was kind of looking past Volkanovski. But damn, he's just aggravating to listen to. Like somehow, Topuria, at least verbally outside of the cage, is becoming one of my most disliked fighters on the roster right now. In the cage, he's awesome to watch. But damn, his trash talk was irritating. He said he needs to be humbled. Volkanovski called Topuria a Conor wannabe, and how Topuria said that he wants the red panty night with Conor. Volkanovski made like a joke. Yeah, he likes wearing red panties. Just subtle, light jokes, nothing too crazy. Volk was definitely not too irritated by what Topuria was saying. Volk said he wants to go out there and show, that he's the guy still, that he's still the man, whereas Topuria said he's the man that's gonna, take Volkanovski's head. And Volk mentioned how he's run the division for so long and that Ilya doesn't stand a chance, saying that he's just going to be another name on the legendary Volkanovski resume. Volkanovski is asked, why is he the one? He says, Ilya is asked why he's the one to beat Volkanovski. Ilya says he's the evolution of this game and he's representing the new generation. I'm like, damn. This new generation then is coming with all-time high douchebaggery, and not looking forward to that. Hopefully, the personality of Topuria doesn't rub off on too many of these up-and-coming guys. He said that everybody will be a fan after the fight, so shut the fuck up to the crowd again. And then he challenges the fans to do something about it and come upstairs and scrap with them. Definitely not a good way to win over the American fan base, but they're booing him anyways, so instead of trying to kiss ass, you might as well be hated than, neutrally not cared about. Cejudo's then asked a question, though. Cejudo's asked a question. This is big. He's like, what do you think of the back and forth between Volk and Topuria? He's excited for the fight. He's focused on, the Merab matchup. He's not really worried about who's getting the win between those two. He said he's ready to get back in the title picture, beating Merab. And then he said that he's going to either fight the trans Barbie, referring to Sean O'Malley, or Mr. 5045 Cheeto Vera, referring to his dominant loss to Sanhagen recently. With a win, Cejudo is back in the title picture. Merab then said that he's going to be the winner February 17th. He stood up. He takes the Mexican flag out. He says he's going to make the Mexican people happy. And then Cejudo says something to him in Spanish. I don't know what it was. And obviously Merab doesn't speak a lick of Spanish, so he's trying to represent Mexico, but he doesn't know the tongue there. I thought it was kind of hilarious. He was just having fun with it. And he's, somewhat turning heel. I don't want to say that he's turned far heel. It's kind of just, a joke. Bring the Mexican flag out. We've seen like Floyd Mayweather wear the Mexican attire as he was going out to fight Oscar De La Hoya. I don't know if he'll rock a sombrero or something. That'd be pretty funny. Cejudo then says, "You're dead." And then Merab's like, "Let's go, guys." It wasn't anything too violent or vicious. Like the back and forth between Topuria and Volk was intense and nasty feeling, whereas Merab was having fun, and so was Cejudo. Paulo is then asked about his layoff and how the title picture is currently looking, seeing that, the belt has been changing of hands since obviously Paulo Costa was a victim of a dominant Israel Adesanya reign. Costa, first thing, thanks the crowd, shouts out the fans. He really is like an American star, even though he speaks like, okay English. I'm not trying to shaft Paulo's English, but I'd say Money Moicano, who calls himself speaking broken English, speaks a lot more smoothly than Paulo does at this point. What's interesting is he mentioned that he fought at Anaheim before against Yoel Romero. That feels like a decade ago. It was some years ago, like 4-ish years ago, and that was in Anaheim. That was just 2 wins ago for Paulo Costa. He's been fighting on average like once a year. He's been out a year and a half heading into this damn fight. He predicts that he's going to knock out Rob, though, and he said he feels better than ever before. He feels like he's fully recovered his body. So there are some positive takeaways, and if Costa's being honest, his body language and confidence was better than Rob's. Rob just kind of smiles after Costa said he's going to knock him out. And then, he was asked about the belt kind of being thrown around like hot potato. And he said it's fun. Lots of opportunities. Right place, right time. Rob didn't convince me that he's overly confident in victory heading into this Saturday. Now, Robert Whittaker has never been a big mouth. Not that Paulo Costa is really a big mouth. He just speaks. He was very reserved, very calm, almost seemed shy on the mic. And as a former world champ, I thought he could have at least said, "Listen, Paulo, I'm going to show you a new level." Something. Give a little something. Instead, Rob's like too damn nice. Anik was then asked the question about the criticism that he spoke towards fans and like how he feels seeing them face to face. He said, he's never been in front of a presser crowd quite like this. The fans go crazy, and honestly, John Anik dodged the question. He didn't speak upon what was said because he kind of had he had a complete meltdown against haters online. At the end of the day, as a public figure, you're going to have people that shit on you. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It is what it is. Now, I get it. It can be bothersome if you have a complete influx of it, but get over it. I got people that shit on me just doing YouTube now. So if you're the UFC lead play-by-play man, you're going to eat some flack. Take it on the chin. Don't threaten, "Oh, I'm leaving for the NFL." That was whiny. That was weak of Anik. And I think he lost fans because of it. I've always been a hardcore Anik fan, but I really didn't like that moment. And I don't know, it makes you like question him a bit mentally. Where is he at? Just in life in general. I'm worried about his confidence in self moving forward. That was weird, man. And he totally dodged the question. I would have said, "No, guys. I was being an emotional roller coaster. I was being a whiny biatch. I was fucking being soft. I'm wrong. You're right. I should never cry about shit like that. I got the best job in the damn world." Because he does. He's the lead play-by-play. I mean, I'd take the lead play-by-play role. UFC, give me a buzz. Jeff Neal was then asked a question, and he looked completely like Neo from The Matrix. He talked about silence in the crowd and, beating Ian Garry. It really wasn't anything too spectacular. Garry was then asked a question, and like the boos are coming immediately. Garry says, "Everyone of you is talking about me, and you're here to see me." I guess everybody is kind of there to see him. Most of the fan base, I'd say a majority, is hoping Ian Garry gets knocked out. I am on the opposite side of that because I actually hope that he wins. I still am interested in Ian Garry emerging as a top contender. He says he's going to silence everyone and show out, which I personally am predicting that he does. will they shake hands? He was asked. Garry says yes, he'll shake hands with anyone who's willing to get in the octagon with him. And Neal said, like, yeah, I'll shake your hand too. Because Ian Garry then was asking, Neal, will we shake hands? Yeah, we'll shake hands. It's like, all right, big whoop, big moment. Wow, massive moment. No, it was kind of odd. Yeah, Ian Garry didn't really bring a lot of fire at the presser. He didn't say too much. Fluffy Hernandez was asked the question about being on the main card, and he said he's absolutely stoked, and you could tell he was excited. Kopylov asked the same question. It was in Russian. He said, hey, listen, guys, I'm happy to be here. There's a great opportunity to be on this exciting card. He's starting it off with a bang, but he really didn't say much else. Those two didn't have major mic moments. Then the mic got passed back to Volk. The question was back on him. Volk, how does it feel to perform to the crowd? He said he can't wait to go put on a show, and it's going to be a treat. Of course, he's saying it's going to be a treat. The crowd's there. They're playing into it. The Anaheim crowd is pretty good, though. Topuria then asked the question, what are the keys to becoming champion? He says, show up on Saturday. You'll find out then that he's going to squash Volkanovski. Not giving anything away from the game plan, which I personally like. Alex then speaks upon if he beats Ilia Topuria, or he's asked this question. If he beats Ilia Topuria, he's now an all-time featherweight winner, and would he be moving back up to lightweight? He didn't really answer the first part of the question. It's kind of irrelevant, to be honest. He's a dominant champ. He said, though, he wants the double champ status, and he is not done in the lightweight division, so you can imagine a win over Ilia Topuria. We're kind of in dead zone again at 45. Maybe he's going up. I don't know against who, though. I have not a clue. Would it be the winner of Gaethje and Max Holloway? Can you imagine Max Holloway gets the BMF belt at 55? Volkanovski goes up, fights him for a fourth time at 55. Can you imagine that world? I don't think, but you never know. And then hard to understand question about McGregor to Ilia Topuria. And Ilia just he mentioned like, listen, I'm here to kill or be killed. I didn't come this far to die. He said he's ready to kill Volkanovski. Question back to our boy Paulo Costa. And, he was asked pretty much about how the crowd cheered him the most. And, like, what is his advice to foreign athletes to conquer the public? He's like, I don't know. I mean, realistically, it's Paulo Costa. That's why he's jacked as fuck. He's an absolute Chad. He's a cool dude. He's got a good bro vibe. Yeah, MMA fans are going to love him. He says, I don't know, but he wants to bring an exciting fight. And he normally does. He said he's going to do his best for this fight. And he says that he is the people's main event. I still think the main event is the main event, but it's a damn good fight. It's an awesome co-main event. I love that. Paulo seems really confident that winning here gives him a title shot. He's then asked if there's some sort of arrangement set out. He said, no, but what other way? If I win here, I should be getting the title fight. Because if you beat Rob Whittaker, you should fight for the belt. And historically, I guess that's a true statement now. We'll see if it ends up coming to fruition. Then old man Volk is asked another question. He said, are you hitting Dana up for a senior citizen bonus? And I was like, man, ask a more relevant question. No offense to the guy asking, or actually maybe offense to him, because he took up a very legit spot at a major press conference, and I thought that was a dumb question. I didn't really see it. It wasn't really that funny. Like, maybe say, hey, what do you think, Volk? Should we get performance bonuses to 100K? Like, instead, you make a joke about the senior citizen bonus. I want the 100K bonus for the winners on the card that are impressive. And then Volkanovski, what does he say? I'm interested in UFC 300. With a win, he's ready to jump in. Topuria says, listen, you're not going to be out of the hospital by UFC 300. I like Topuria here. Like, Topuria won me back a little bit towards this point. I'm like, okay, good line. Volk says, don't interrupt, abuelo. Topuria says, couple more days. I like the shit talk. And then there's a question for Topuria, but like the translation doesn't get the words in because Topuria just starts talking. And the question was like, Ilia, you used to fighting on the road. He said, yes, I want to fight in Spain. Obviously, he wants to fight at home. Makes a lot of sense. Ilia said, for everyone watching in Spain, what's going to happen? Ilia Topuria predicted the outcome of this fight. He said, first round knockout. He's taking Volk's lights out. I guess he kind of meant shutting Volk's lights off, but the verbiage is bull. It don't matter. It's the same thing. We know what he meant. Savage. He's calling a first round knockout, and he's not lying. Topuria seems like he truly believes that he's knocking out Volkanovski in the first round. That is a very dangerous mentality because I think if it starts to go longer, Volkanovski will wear him down and beat him up and finish him off. I'm picking Volk by TKO. Question back to Cejudo. It was like, who do you want as champ? And he said, let him fight. He said he's got to get through hair transplant, referring to Marab with a hair transplant. I said, all right, decent line. It was a funny little barb. Cejudo didn't say too much. Old man Volk asked about Topuria holding the belt earlier in the week, having it around his waist, taking pictures. He says, Listen, you're taking pictures of the belt like that. You want to just have those. You're being gifted it and handed it. He said, this is going to be the last time you hold it. You're taking advantage of that. And then what happens? As Volkanovski is saying that Topuria is just holding the belt, he'll never have it. Topuria gets up and grabs the belt a la Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo, and raises it up in the air. Obviously, then the champion Volkanovski gets up and they go face to face. Topuria does give him the belt back, and they have an intense face-off, and Volk says, listen, you'll never see it again. Maybe if I kick your ass first down the line, you could be a great champion, but till then, get your hands off of my belt. I like that from Volkanovski at the end, but I love how Topuria grabbed the belt at the very end of the presser. This was the final sequence of the press conference. It's Topuria raising the belt up in the air. If he wins, this is a rinse and repeat of Conor McGregor taking out Jose Aldo. Don't think that's going to happen, though. I don't see it. I'm going with Topuria to lose. I'm going with Volkanovski to win. I'm going against the grain of the statistics of like 2-28, over 35, 170 and under championship records. I believe that Alexander Volkanovski will get his hand raised. I believe he's going to defend the throne and take out a game unbeaten contender. But it's still Volk's world. This is still Volk's house. I got Volkanovski. After the presser and the fun that was had, there was a chill face-off between Kopylov and Hernandez. Nothing crazy there. I'm picking Kopylov. Cejudo and Merab shake hands. They get in stance. It's an intense face-off with some like respectful words exchange, and then Merab saying, thank you, Eric, making the joke because Eric Albarracin was like, jokingly fired by Cejudo, and then the joke was Merab brought him in as a coach. I thought that was hilarious. Respectable face-off, though. Then Garry and Neal shake hands. Respect, intense, a little banter, but respect, again, with the handshake at the end of it. They're ready to fight. And then Costa and Rob are, like, super respectful. Costa goes and, like, puts his hands on Rob's shoulders after they shake hands. Maybe he's feeling him up to see, all right, what are we working with here? What am I going up against? I think that's kind of a strategy that I would pull, too. You get a feel of him. Oh, I know how he feels like now. You get an idea. And it was respect, though, still, nonetheless. Nothing crazy from that face-off. Even the main event face-off. Volk, he jokingly is like limping out, but then he takes the glasses off, and you see the real Alexander the Great Volkanovski staring into the soul of Ilia Topuria. Ilia nodding his head, talking some shit. Volk's very calm. Handshake at the end, and it's a war going down this Saturday at UFC 298 in the main event. That was the press conference. Irritating moments. Ilia Topuria being extremely cocky, but he has to, I guess, play that role to try and get under Volk's skin, but I don't think it's working. It seems like Topuria was more bothered than Volkanovski was. Other than that, like, cool enough moments for Paulo Costa. Rob didn't look that confident. For me, I thought that Volkanovski and Topuria both had quality press conference performances. I think Costa definitely resonated with fans. Rob Whittaker looked shy, uncomfortable even at times, and just, I don't know. He's not exuding confidence to win. I wouldn't be betting Rob Whittaker based on that damn press conference. Costa seems like he's got the energy and momentum on his side. Garry and Neal, it's a fight. I think Garry wins it. He's the pick. Nothing really shifted from the presser. There wasn't big moments between either. Cejudo, Merab, it was a fun back and forth. Both guys were confident at the presser. I'm picking Merab to win the fight. We shall see when the cage door closes. And then Kopylov, Hernandez, not a lot was even said. I'm picking Kopylov as a dog, though. I think if they can stay striking, he can do damage to Fluffy Hernandez. That was the UFC 298 press conference. This was the UFC 298 press conference reaction. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and turn those post notifications on if you really like the content, as I'm slurring my words like I've been hit with some uppercuts earlier today. I think it's because I'm flowing off of a live stream before and then right into the press conference and the press conference reaction. But I do hope you guys enjoyed. This is the second only press conference reaction ever on the channel. Let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments. Let me know who you thought won the UFC 298 press conference. I guess if I have to pick a winner, I don't know. I guess because Topuria had the belt at the end, he wins it snatching the belt. But Volk looked good too. Not a clear winner. Outside of the main event, though, there is a clear winner. It was Paulo Costa. He looked real good, and he's an underdog. I know that people's confidence is continuing to shoot up. We're going to break down the card following the weigh-ins tomorrow. I'm very excited for that. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace, everybody.